Okay, and welcome back, students who are taking Math for Business and Finance and Math Applications. We're working on the Chapter 11 drill problems, the assigned problems from the study guide, the odd-numbered ones. So let's move on and we'll get through them. All right, let me get to the next slide. Come on. All right, there we go. And my pen. And so problem 11-1. Complete the following table for the simple discount notes. Use the ordinary interest method. Remember, that's 360 days for the ordinary interest. So we have an amount due at maturity of 16,000. The discount rate is 2.5 and the time is 90 days. So recall the formula: interest is equal to principal or face value this time times rate times time. So we have the face value at 16,000 at 2.5%, 0.025 times 190 days over 360. And when we do the math, 16,000 times 0.025 times 190, that's 76,000. 76,000. Can't write this morning for some reason. So 76,000 divided by 360. And that gives us interest of 211.11. Okay, so that's the bank. That is what the bank is going to discount, the 211.11. And then, of course, the proceeds are the 16,000 less minus the 211.11. All right, because they're taking that discount right up front. So the proceeds ends up being 15,788.89. So that's 15,788.89. As you can see, it's very similar to what we did in Chapter 10, as explained in the theory video for this chapter. And as far as the bank discount is concerned, we're calculating on that interest on that note, but the bank takes that up front and gives you the remaining proceeds. So they're locking in their interest, which in effect gives them a higher rate of return. Okay. Right. 11-3. Calculate the discount period for the bank to wait to receive its money. Okay, so let's see here. So we have the date of the note is April 12th. The length of the note is 45 days. And the day the note is discounted, so we want to know what the discount period is. So if the total length of the note is 45 days, and let's see, the day the note is discounted, well, we're looking at April. April has 30 days, so that's 30 less 12, that gives 18, right? Because April 12th, there's 30 days in April. That gives us 18 days in April, plus the 2 days for May, so that's 20 days. Okay, and so we subtract the one from the other. That means the discount period is 25 days. Okay, let me go over that since it looks a little sloppy here and I had to think through it a bit. Go over it real quick. All right, so we're talking about, here's the timeline. Here's April 12th, and here's May 2nd. So the end of the month is April 30th. So in this period of time, 30 less 12 is 18 days, plus the 2 days here, that's 20 days. And the length of the note is 45 days, so we take out the 20 days, so the discount period ends up being 25 days. Okay. 11.5, solve for the maturity value, discount period, bank discount, and proceeds. Assume for problems 11.5 and 11.6, bank discount rate of 9%. Okay, so we have a face value of 50,000. The rate of interest is 11%. The length of the note is 95 days. Okay. So our maturity value, and we have, let me just go through the rest here. So we need to find our maturity value. The date of the note is June 10th. The date discounted is July 18th. So we want to know what the discount period is, how much the bank discount is, and how much the proceeds. So the maturity value first. And remember, the maturity value is principal plus interest, or face value plus interest in this case. Same thing as this is from chapter 10. Now we're talking about discounting, so we have a tendency to use the face value, which is what we use for chapter 11. So we have the 50,000 in principal times 11% times the 95 days for the length of the note over 360. And that's going to give us our interest, because remember, interest is equal to face value times rate times time. Familiar with this from the previous chapter. So we do the math, 50,000 times decimal 11 times 95, and that gives us 522,500 over 360. And when we divide by 360, we end up with 1,451 and 39 cents. And of course, the maturity value is the face value, which is 50,000, plus the interest, which we just calculated, $1,451.39. So that makes our maturity value 51,451.39. So that's that's 51,451.39. Okay. Stop, rewind, stop and rewind, and copy that down if you need to. So now the next thing we need to do is we need to figure out what our discount period is, and to do that, that's very similar to the last problem. Okay, between June 10th and July 18th. So June has 30 days. Now remember, to do this, you can use the Julian calendar like we did in the previous chapter an awful lot, but as you can see, I'm using the number line because it's a relatively short period of time. I mean, I could go back and find the number of days for June 10th and the number of days for July 18th, subtract one from the other, and end up with the same amount. But what I'm doing here is I'm drawing the number line, but all I'm doing is visually thinking in my head that this is 20 days and this is 18, so that means it's 38 days. And mentally, I'm able to just do that. I'm only drawing the number line in order to give you a visual representation. If it was for multiple months, maybe I might use the calendar, but then I'd have to dig it out and blah, blah, blah. I find using the number line and drawing it out just that much easier. Okay, so we had the length of the note was 95 days, and the number of days for discounting is 38. So that means we had 57 days for our discount period. Now, for the bank discount, we had a maturity value of $51,451.39. Okay, and let me see here. The bank discount rate is 9%. So I'm going to take and multiply it by 0.09, and the number of days was 57 over 360. Okay, and we're figuring out the bank discount here. Okay, so we have to do the math. 51, 451, 39, 51, 451, 39 times 0.09 times 57 gives me 263,945.63 all over 360. So we divide that by 360 and we end up with 733.18. Okay, let me erase that there. Just make that D for days. So this is 733.18 as the bank discount or the interest. And then of course we subtract that discount from the face value in order to get our proceeds. So we have the 51451.39 minus 733.18, and that ends up being 50,718.21 as our proceeds. Okay, that'll be our proceeds right there. Okay, so let me just, I'm at 12 minutes, so I'm going to stop the video, but if you understood everything, go ahead and stop the video and move on to the next one. But I'm just going to quickly recap what happened for this particular problem. Okay, it says solve for the maturity value, and then it's for the discount period, then the bank discount and the proceeds. So to solve for the maturity value here, okay, we took the 50,000 at 11% for 95 days over 360, which ended up giving us our interest of 1,451.39. And of course, maturity value is face value plus interest, so we add the 50,000 to it, and we end up with 51,451.39. Now that's the maturity value of the note, right? For 50,000, it has nothing to do right now with discount. So now we're going to calculate the discount, and to do that, we figure out that the number of days for the discount, okay, so we had 95 days, and we had figured out from June 10th to June 30th was 20 days, and then of course there's 18 days in July, so that's 38, and so the discount period is 95 less the 38, or 57. Okay, and that's how we arrive at that. So that's the discount period. So we have 57 days for discounting, and now we can figure out the bank discount, which we're taking our maturity value now times our interest rate of 9% up here times our 57 days for the discount period, and that gave us 733.18 as the bank discount. Okay, and then of course we subtract that amount from the face value of 51,451. So we subtract 733.18, and we end up with our proceeds of 50,718.21. Okay, so that's our proceeds right there. So that's it. And if you have any questions, go ahead and rewatch the video. And if not, if you still have a question, feel free to telephone or contact an instructor. Okay, see you in the next video.